While they're coming up, I do want to say, obviously those of you guys have come to the games, you know that from a head coaching perspective, as far as who's calling the plays and doing the substitutions, I played the head coach role for both teams. I didn't want you to think that I didn't have thoughts to say about JV. I just thought between the speech and doing the varsity that maybe need a break from my voice, so I had Coach Martin do that. But I do want the JV guys to hear me say that I have a great deal of optimism when it comes to the future of our basketball program. And that optimism has to come from our young guys. It's as much as I'm looking forward to honoring some of our seniors and upperclassmen, it's these young guys and how hard they're willing to work and how much buy-in they have to all of these things that we're talking about today as far as culture and everything like that. It's outstanding, and I'm looking forward to watching all of you guys grow. And Coach Martin really summarized a lot of those things for those individuals. Samuel, I want to point out in front of everyone, just to see you be as emotionally invested as you are in your performance is something that's very inspiring to me. It reminds me of how I was when I was your age. And the more you're going to do that, the more you're going to see me invest back in you. Okay, so I appreciate that about you. So every last one of these guys is extremely willing and able to compete. I feel as a coach, and Coach DJ knows this, him and I, we coach hundreds of games a year and essentially hundreds of athletes a year. And I've been in lots of huddles. And sometimes you can assess the character of your team by an eye roll check, right? So if you're a coach and you say, all right, we're gonna do X, and all of a sudden you look and you see athletes' eyes start to roll. Oh, we have to do this. That tells you you've got low character on your team, and that's a tough team to coach. These guys, I cannot stress enough, they never fight back. I ask them to do something, and then they get to the line and they do it, and they do it with everything that they have. And that makes it makes them so much fun to be around, and it makes it enjoyable, so that whatever we're doing, wins and losses and results, it's all secondary to the fact that they're always giving 100%. And so before we talk about anything individual, I just want to clap up every one of these guys for the work that they put in. All right, so starting with our varsity rising star, anyone who was at our last game against Islamic in the regional knows who this is. He's been strong, athletic, competitive, fearless all season long. We're looking forward to his development. Reese Stantz. You're talking about a freshman who made significant contributions to our varsity team. That's a 14-year-old who has to guard an 18-year-old. That's not easy to do, and he does it every night. He has to go up and finish against guys who are 4 years older than him. But he competes. And if I'm honest, Reese, and I will be honest because that's what I do, I held you back a little bit this year. Sometimes purposefully, sometimes to my own fault. And I think that you were capable of doing a little bit more, but I want you to hear me say that I'm excited to see what you're going to do with your sophomore year, and that's why you're doing that Rising Star. Okay, our most improved player started off the season fighting for a spot on the varsity team. By the end of the season, he was starting every game, and he is starting to identify himself as a very popular term that's going on around in basketball right now. It's called 3-and-D. It's things that coaches love. These are people who can defend the best player and then knock down three-pointers on the other side of the court. And that this year has been Christian Rodriguez. The great thing about Christian is Christian has made improvements in every facet of the student-athlete experience. When we're talking about all of those things and how these two things mesh together, Christian is an embodiment of that. He's improving in the classroom, he's improving in his social relationships around the school, and we're real proud of you across the board, Christian. Keep it up. All right, this next player is also an ISL honorable mention, and he got the ISL honorable mention on his defense alone. We all know that he does not score very often, and I believe it's just because he doesn't want to. But he is one heck of a defender, and he is our Defensive Player of the Year, Colin Constant. I think his parents are probably the only ones that can appreciate this, but Colin's different. He's different. I know I've known some hardworking athletes, but it's very rare where you see an athlete volunteer to work harder. Like that's Colin. Like we had an assignment for him to guard one of the better players in our conference. In fact, the guy who ended up getting the Player of the Year in the conference. So this guy lit us up at their place, had over 30 points at their place because some stupid coach decided to zone him all day. And it wasn't until the last couple minutes I said, let's try putting Colin on the guy. And the last couple minutes, Colin really bothered him. So I said, all right, well, we're going to for the next time when they play us here, we're going to put Colin on him from the start of the game to the end of the game. So there was about a 10-day window between that away game and that home game. And for every one of those 10 days, after the practice, he would do extra sprints. And I would look at him and I'd be like, Colin, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting ready for that Morgan Park game. I'm getting ready for that Morgan Park game. And that just stood out to me because if you're willing to do that and you could put that same effort into shooting 3-pointers all off season, then I'm looking forward to you being a two-way player next year, right? Now, this is for the second year in a row. Our MVP is Jordan here. You guys know at senior night, I had some words to say about Jordan. I want to echo those words best I can here. He has been the heart and soul of our team since he's joined us. He is the perfect athlete to end our awards night tonight because he embodies everything that I'm talking about. If they're words to you, this is a way to see those words jump off of a page. He came to Elgin Academy as a hardworking athlete. I mentioned in the speech that we already have that. We have hardworking guys. These guys are not afraid to get busy and to work and to do the things that it takes to win. But then he started to put more time into his sports development. He spent off season after off season working out with me in the gym, working on his body in the weight room, drinking protein shakes, getting shots up. And so now he goes from being a hardworking athlete to a basketball player who's capable of scoring 41 points in a game, leading us in points, field goals, blocks, steals, and rebounds. He is somebody that is going to be very difficult to replace, but to his credit, he is going to be easier to replace because of the leadership that he has given to these guys. I know that they can speak to that better than I can, but he just infuses so much energy and what to do next with these guys. And so I hope that you guys learn from that, and that when he is off at Rhodes hitting the crap out of a baseball next year, we remember him in that gym, and somebody steps up and fills his void and does our foul calls and demands excellence the way Jordan did. So we're very proud of him, and we're going to miss him. Also, all conference for the second year in a row. And 5 minutes to spare. We did it. All right, so here's how I would like to end tonight.